Hello Capricorn, this is going to be your March 2021 forecast, looking at what's ahead using the tarot cards. I will use a little, interesting, your energy is popping right out with that devil card. Okay, I will make this short. These cards are energetic. I want to get going. I'll pull in a little oracle, a little bit of astrology, but for the most part how I'll structure it is pull for the past, present, immediate future, and then we'll look at these cards together, pulling some more to clarify and see what themes that Capricorn can expect for March 2021 and beyond. But let's first take a glimpse into what was going on in the recent past for you, Capricorn. Okay, devil card at the bottom of the deck. You guys, your energy, I'm feeling it. The world card. So we have Saturn there ruling that. Your planetary ruler, Capricorn. We've got some Saturn in Sagittarius action with the 10 of Wands. Okay. All right, 7 of Wands. Okay, before I get into this devil card, we'll see if this wants to come back out and share the messages again with us. But let's first of all pull some more cards for the present before getting into them. Okay, so what is Capricorn finding themselves surrounded by now? Meanwhile, we do have an important Saturn transit happening at the moment, and for Capricorn rising, in terms of money, that could have been pretty good for you last month, actually, finances for the Capricorn energy. 10 of Cups, that's a nice energy. 8 of Pentacles, but it is another 10, and the World card is also about cycles coming to completion. The Hanged Man, Hanged One, here we have it. Okay, so there's kind of big cycles of your life coming to completion. Some of you are like, there's a certain level of resistance to all this change, but for the most part, you're happy with this, I think. Not everybody might be happy around you with the decisions you've been making or what you've ended. You're happy about things that have ended, I think, though, but not everyone may be. Let's look at what's going on in the immediate future for you, and then we're going to get into the cards. So let's look March into April with this. But you know what, Capricorn? This energy is fluid. So take what resonates and leave the rest. 6 of Swords. So a transition period with the Justice card then. Okay. And the Knight of Cups. So the end of the month, we have some more movement, okay? There is some sense of guilt though and hesitation for you to finally just get yourself, you've brought so much to an end in your life, I think. Capricorn rising, you might have felt like some relationships ended, but I'm thinking maybe last year, 2020, you had all this Saturnian energy and Saturn was there in Capricorn rising in your house of relationship, in your first house rather. So it was like identity overhauls. And like a lot of things, you really notice the effects of Saturn through the first house because a lot of things change, cycles come to an end. And I think what's happened in the World card, 10 of Wands, whatever kind of came up for completion for you, you're really happy about it. For some of you, this is like something successful, like some sort of a rite of passage or some graduational or a ceremonial event that really you had been working for years on it. It could have been just like getting this promotion at work that you recognize and the ceremony of just the congratulations party. Like it something marked something for you that was significant, but it's over. It's kind of, this 10 of Wands was saying to me, kind of, you got all you can out of that journey there. You were taking on a lot by the end too, and I think that might have been for some of you like part of the reason, like, okay, this is time to go. I'm getting stressed by things that wouldn't used to like bother me so much. There was maybe your life, whatever you had last been doing in your life, it kind of like felt like it was getting a bit tense, or like you were maybe just agitated by it because you were just loved it at one stage and you're kind of thinking, gosh, how did I turn like this over? But you just sort of got as much as you can out of something. Other than that, the World card, 10 of Wands, 7 of Wands, it is kind of like it's like there's been a lot of perseverance and endurance for you. Capricorn, you are a Saturn ruled sign, so you don't have any problem with endurance or waiting. I think though that you were getting itchy feet here, and the wands are kind of about igniting passion, and this was kind of, you're more focused though. That wasn't making you excited anymore, what had ended for you recently, but as well as that, like you totally missed the feeling of what this was all about. And if anything, the only kind of activity in what you were doing before was like kind of agitating anyway. Like it's not as if it was totally stagnated what you're doing, but it was agitating, it was burdensome, and it was kind of draining what you had been dealing with. So then we brighten things up considerably. There is like still a hesitation for you to finally just take the plunge, but there's a bit of surrendering at the moment I think you can feel around you. But the 10 of Cups and the 8 of Pentacles, well, I see you being very productive. I see you having this new life-work balance, where you don't have to forsake spending time with loved ones, family, friends, but you're still really able to get your job done and your work done. So for Capricorn rising, all of this planetary buildup in February was in the sign of Aquarius, and that's in your second house, and that's all about like, you know, kind of your income and how you earn a living and your material assets. And then in 5th house, there's you know, there's stuff going on in Taurus, and there's kind of this like energy between them. And I think for some of you, Capricorn rising in particular, but for a lot of you Capricorn, I see you seeing like a bit of a frustration that what you do for fun, or like a hobby, or say if it's like ceramics and you want to open a studio or something, that's very much like this energy of like a kind of creative endeavor. A lot of you might work in design, is very strong with these cards too, but some of you are just kind of like, when can I make this my way of making money? Or so I just see this like 2nd house, 5th house is all about hobbies and joy and creative expression. And I see for Capricorn rising in particular, but this is coming through for all Capricorns, like there's just maybe an area of your life where you're like, I wish I could do what I loved and wish I made me happy on a more regular basis, on a more full-time basis. We're going to clear up these cards and look at them together now. The Hanged One, this is just saying that right now there's like a surrendering to be done, and you know it, because after that we have the 6 of Swords coming up in the future. So this does indicate a move, Knight of Cups, a change, movement, transition period. Slower though, this isn't a rush. This is thought through, it's definitely felt through, it's thought through. There's a decision to be made. I think this Justice card, we might clear this up even just by looking at the Hanged One. You have to surrender to something before seeing everything clearly on a choice that's going to come up for you in an important way in the near future, okay? Right now, you may be feeling like this, trapped where you are, even if it's just in your mind telling yourself like this isn't a good idea, or you want to make a move. Maybe it is to open this design studio or whatever it is, but you know, you have a full-time job and a lot of responsibilities and duties. But I feel like that you're letting go a little bit of that, but you're still up here. Before we get into more cards, I'm going to ground this reading again, and we're going to have a look at this. Let's see what came up for you. And then, let's see if we can stop this moving. That'd be great. Okay, let's look, and we're going to pull an oracle card now in the meantime. So let's see what is coming up for a message from, let's take this as Capricorn's highest, most compassionate self, and I will read from the oracle. What is a message that Capricorn needs to hear right now? You know, when I was meditating, Capricorn, I got the impression that somebody is pursuing you, or it's like you're in pursuit, like hot pursuit is what I thought of. And you're kind of wanting to get away in a way. Oh, Shining Lotus. Okay, great. Let's read about this oracle card and see what's coming up as a message. So for some, you might feel that like you're flying away, you're getting away, but there's somebody in pursuit. I think whatever ended in the past, that was very emotional for you. What's over and done, that was emotional, definitely. That was an emotional time, I'm feeling. Okay, Shining Lotus, let's see. There are times when it makes sense to be discreet until you find your inner strength, so that you can feel empowered to share your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs without wavering, even in the face of challenge by another. At other times, we benefit ourselves and others by taking a risk and allowing the inner lotus blossom of our true self to shine forth for all to behold. All right, so this sense of ceremony, and I like, are some of you waiting to make an announcement and you're just not sure how it's going to be, like how it's going to go down with family, with work. I feel like there is something, and this card is about like discerning when is the right time to shine, and it seems like now is your time. The shining lotus, I think this is like a symbol of light coming from like this murkier depth here, like, and now it's kind of brightening up, I'm seeing. But let's get back to the tarot, okay? Let's clear up this first row for Capricorn. So we have the World card, we have the 10 of Wands, we have the 7 of Wands. Knight of Swords, 5 of Cups, yeah, although you may be feeling contented in the choices that you've made around these endings, there are others that aren't, and that's burdensome for you still. And you know what? There was like a rushed decision here, or no, a rushed action. Maybe it was a rushed ending. Maybe it was an ending that came kind of suddenly, but this was it seemed like it upset somebody. But you were really acting, I think you were acting pretty logically in what you were doing. It kind of made sense to you. But to others, no, there was others that were disappointed about this ending that has taken place. Maybe similar like to this shining lotus, it's like you are feeling empowered to share your thoughts, beliefs without wavering. And I think that's very much the 7 of Wands, like standing your ground, not wavering, not moving. Even though like you know that your actions and moves that you were making were going to disappoint people. Okay, sorry, but that's just, it seems like kind of one of those things like you had to kind of act and move for yourself. Let's look at this future or the present energies around you. 10 of Cups, 8 of Pentacles, the Hanged One. So for some, this is definitely looking like it's about getting a really nice work-life balance. And it's very, so if you're in the creative field as well, you're being enlightened, you're very inspired at the moment in the work you're doing. What other messages are coming through around this for Capricorn? The 5 of Swords and the Ace of Cups in reverse. You can't give yourself a break, it seems, and you can't let yourself just enjoy this for some reason. Maybe it's one of those 8 swords that we had earlier. You're trapped by something anyway, or there's some sense of guilt or regret. I think maybe you know, this could be you feeling like you could be you here, this person in the front with one of these 5 swords, like you feel like maybe you have really not played somebody, but like led somebody down the garden path, like acted like that you were going to be able to give them something that maybe you knew you weren't. This could be in your mind, but that's the energy of those cards. This Fool card at the bottom of the deck seems like it's talking about something semi-related, but this is like this new beginning energy that's possible for you, Capricorn. It's like this opportunity to take a risk, to take a chance on something. It is also very like the Hanged One, where it is complete surrender. Like this person is basically surrendering to, I don't know what you would call that, blind faith, jumping off a cliff. And this person is surrendering to weight and stagnation and not moving right now, but gaining enlightenment and, you know, following kind of spiritual purpose, I feel like, led by spirit very much, this Fool card. So, you know, there is a lesson of surrendering around you at the moment, Capricorn. But as well as that, the Fool card, this is Uranus, represents or rules over this card for astrology ties, and that's the planet that's really going through Taurus at the moment. It's like I've been on a almost decade cycle now. No, over a decade now, and you know that is that's the cycle. So that's where that fifth house is, of joy, of for Taurus. So it's in Taurus. So for Capricorn rising, that's in your fifth house of joy, of creative expression, of hobbies, of fun, of children. So this is kind of like, I would take this as a nice kind of optimistic thumbs up that you could potentially make what you do for what you do for joy and love and fun permanent. I think some of you obviously want to spend some more time with loved ones and family right now, as well as being able to, I see this very much studio artists working from home, being able to create from home. That's something separate. I think surrender coming up right now when things aren't exactly clear is important. This is definitely something to do with your regret over, I think, maybe even a past love that could have been wrapped up in the world, because this is Ace of Cups, and you felt it could have been something. There was a lot of love there at a point, but the Five of Swords, somebody in that relationship could have been self-sabotaging this love, or you know, there was an option for it, but you know, people fall back into old habits. 10 of Wands, 10 of Cups, it's like a cyclical kind of thing. Let's take it on and look at this first row coming up. So movement, transition period, following your heart, being led to something more peaceful, more fair. Who have we got here? Who have we got? We've got maybe dealing with the Pisces or a Gemini or a Libra, but there's a decision anyway that has to be made for you. I think you're calm. I think you're approaching the decision in a calm frame of mind. Let's look at this final row and close out the reading with this for Capricorn. Death card. Same direction as this horse is going. Could be dealing with a Scorpio. And Four of Pentacles. The Moon card here at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so it could be a Pisces either, but this is cyclical too. So I feel like you might have found things like repeating themselves, even cycles repeating. But the Death card and the Four of Pentacles. So Major Arcana card here, this decision that you're going to be weighing up or that's going to surround you, or a consideration, or something that you just have to say like, I need to get to the bottom of this situation. Was this right? Was it fair? Did we get treated fairly out of this? Did I get treated fairly with this move or with this change in my life? But for some, I definitely think it's like, oh, you're going to be weighing something up, and it is to move away. Look, if you'll notice that all of these cards are traveling in the same direction into the future of this. So we are moving on from something Capricorn, we're leaving something. Death talks about a cycle that's we're being reborn in a sense. You might, Capricorn, you've had an intense few years with planets, okay, being in the sign of Capricorn. So Pluto is there for another 3 years still, but Pluto is the slowest moving planet that we've observed in the solar system, and that is what really creates upheaval and change in our life, because it moves so slowly. So it's going to be going out of Capricorn over the next 3 years, but you know what, it's kind of like all about it, but it's really been there for like 15 years. And so like it shapes things in that way. So you might find just things changing, like you feel like you feel reborn in a way. You weren't the person you were 1 year ago, 2 years ago, but cast it further than back. Like I think of how much you've been really reborn probably in the last in the last 10 years, of course, but even take it back just to when Saturn and Jupiter have been in Capricorn. The Four of Pentacles. This is Sun in Capricorn. So it is talking to me about, that's why I'm going on about that. It's this really Capricorn energy. We had it so much with that devil coming out earlier. I'm surprised that devil didn't show up again. But the Four of Pentacles and Death card, it's like surrendering. Four of Pentacles doesn't want to, it's holding on, it's holding tight. And Death card takes no prisoners on its way, you know. And if you look at the imagery of the card, death, think of it as just change, being reborn, death and reborn. So, you know, the king on the ground wouldn't surrender, wouldn't give up. No problem. Death isn't going to spare you, doesn't care. If you don't want to accept change, it's happening. You can roll with it, or you can lay down and die. And I think I can talk like this to Capricorns. I wouldn't speak like this in one of my water sign videos, guys. And that's coming from a water sign. So, and then, you know, who else do we have? Yeah, like if at a certain age you realize that change can be a bit distressing. At an older age, maybe the change is kind of like embraced, almost, or, you know, or you've seen enough and you do plead. Because, you know, you don't know if you're that old how long you're going to make it. But the baby here is totally free from any of the conscious like associations of death archetypes, and innocently holds up a flower welcoming change. And then we have the flower imagery on the flag, and it's like it's peaceful. It's not coming as a threat, it's just coming as change. And that's what's happening in your life. You can hold tight to your what security means to you. It might be financial, it might be where you came from. We have a city in the background, it could be some change coming up, and we can hold on or we can move with it. It looks like you're moving, it's slow, it's not shocking, you're taking it at a heartfelt pace. It's just a big deal, Capricorn. It's just, you've probably got a lot of feelings about this part of your life right now. Okay, that is what I'm gonna have for you now for March 2021. I do have a few love and relationship readings on my page already for you, and I will have a couple of more of those throughout the month of March, but this is just kind of covering other possibilities that could be going on for some Capricorns watching right now. General readings, they won't apply to everybody, but take what resonated today and leave the rest. And if you want to stay up to date and see some more of these videos, just hit the subscribe button, and I will see you soon. Thank you, guys.